My husband used to say, the land does not belong to anyone. It belongs to those who were born from it, buried in it, and will return to it. He said this the way you say a thing that has always been true, a thing that does not need explaining. He did not know that far away in a city we had never heard of, men who had never touched our soil were drawing lines across it with ink. Before the lines came, Africa was not empty. There were kingdoms that had stood for 500 years, the Zulu, the Ashanti, the Songhai, the Congo, whose traders reached across rivers wider than some countries. We had our wars, yes, we had our disagreements, but the land was ours to fight over, ours to trade, ours to love. No outsider drew our boundaries for us. No stranger decided where one people ended and another began. But Europe was hungry. The machines they built needed rubber. Their factories needed ivory, copper, gold. Their pride needed something else. It needed to feel superior. By the 1880s, Portugal, Britain, France, Belgium, they were all rushing toward the same continent, each one planting a flag, each one claiming a coast, a river, a valley, as if their flag made it theirs. And when they began to bump into each other, when their claims started to clash, they did not fight. They sat down and they called a meeting. November 1884, Berlin, Germany. Otto von Bismarck, the German chancellor, invited them all. 14 nations gathered around a table. Britain, France, Portugal, Belgium, Italy, Germany, Spain, and more. Not one African leader was invited, not one. They had maps, large, beautiful maps, and they began to draw a line here, that is yours, a line there, that is mine. This river will be the border. This mountain range will divide us. They called it the General Act of the Berlin Conference. They called it bringing civilization. But what they brought were borders that cut through villages, borders that separated brothers from brothers, borders that placed enemies inside the same fence and called them one nation. The Bakongo people, divided between 3 countries, the UA, split between 2. Families who had shared the same fire for generations, now separated by a line drawn by a man who had never heard their language. My husband told me about the day the colonial officers came to our district. They carried a paper with words none of us could read. And they said, "From today, this land is under the protection of the Crown." Protection, as if we were children who needed minding, as if the land that grew our food, that buried our fathers, needed protecting from us. My husband said the chief asked one question: who gave you permission to protect what is already protected? They did not answer. They did not need to. They had already drawn the line. They divided us in one night, but they could not divide what lives inside us. The languages they tried to replace, we still speak them. The traditions they called primitive or taught, we still keep them. The history they tried to erase, we are still telling it. Around fires just like this one. By 1960, the liberation came, country by country, flag by flag. Not because they gave it to us, but because we took it back. The lines are still there. Some of the wounds are still there, but so are we, and we are still talking.